in
John.
the city hall where he's getting honored by the mayor and city council right now. So how are you, JJ?
I'm good. Are you allowed to still be a reporter and ask questions when your name is on like the Hall of Fame reporters wall at the stadium? I thought you retired too, John. What happened?
I was in demand, so I had to come back. I make JJ Watt type money.
Oh, I don't make any money anymore, so I hope you're making more than me.
So first of all, congratulations on the Ring of Honor. And I wanted to ask you, a lot of people want to know what you're doing besides owning the soccer team, and what are your plans? Like, you're going to be on TV this season, and is an NFL ownership next?
We've got some things in the works. There'll be some stuff that comes out in the next few weeks, I'm sure. I'm still finalizing things, working on things. The number one thing I want to do is spend time with my family and enjoy being a dad, and with Kay and Koa. So anything that I do, especially this fall, is going to be in a limited role. I'm not going to do anything in a full-time capacity, really. It's going to be maximizing my time and ability to spend time with my family. Going over to England a few times, obviously, to watch Burnley play. And NFL ownership to me is it's interesting, but it's also when you talk ownership, you talk your ability to do something, to make an impact, to actually have some sort of input and say and ability. And I mean, when you're talking a $5-6 billion endeavor, I mean, the reality of the situation is that's financially massively out of my realm. So there's not really an actual space to be able to have any input or to have any say. If that opportunity were to present itself where there actually was a meaningful way to do so, I would absolutely be up for it. But as of right now, I would rather, spend my time somewhere where I can actually help make a difference.
Aaron, and then Brooks.
Hey, JJ, congratulations on joining the Ring of Honor this fall. What do you think it's going to be like for you and your family to have it in a Steelers game, so your parents can be here, TJ will be here, and what do you think the feeling will be like? And I have a follow-up.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm really excited to get back. I mean, I'm mainly excited to get back in front of the Houston fans. I mean, I absolutely love Houston. I love the people. I love what we've built. I love the camaraderie, the chemistry, the family that it's really become. I mean, I've said it so many times, but it is the honest truth. Every single time I step foot in the city of Houston, it feels like I'm surrounded by my family. And it's special for me. So to have my actual family there on that day playing against TJ and the Steelers will be great. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get back in front of that crowd.
Right. And JJ, when you left the Texans, they granted your request to be released. And how much did you appreciate that they gave you a chance to leave? And now, what does it feel like to be coming back and be in the Ring of Honor? Would you be open to signing a one-day contract perhaps and retire as a Texan one day? Thank you. Yeah,
we had talked about this at that time of the release. I mean, obviously we're going through a very tough time, a difficult time. And we knew that this day was going to come, that we were all going to reunite and come back together. As far as the one-day contract, like I personally just don't really understand or see the reason for it. I mean, it's more of just a ceremonial piece of paper. I think that the Ring of Honor and all of that comes with it is more than enough. I think they've done it first class the whole way, and I appreciate that. I mean, I haven't even filled out or done any retirement papers or anything. I just, so I don't really feel the need to sign a one-day contract or anything. It's just a piece of paper.
Brooks, and then Brandon.
Hey, JJ, Brooks, Cabina from the Houston Chronicle. Congratulations. And I'm curious, in this moment, you mentioned coming back to Houston, being a part of this again. They're in a situation here where your former teammate, D'Amico Ryans, here as a head coach. What is this time like to kind of return back with this team and where they're at, and kind of at that point in the season they'll be moving forward into that? Where do you see things are now to where you first left?
I think Houston's in an incredibly exciting position right now. And I think that if you look at everything that's transpired this offseason in particular, it really signifies the vision and the plans for where this organization wants to go and where it can go. I mean, you hired D'Amico Ryans, who, and obviously in my opinion, is an absolute home run hire in terms of his knowledge, his wisdom, his energy, his experience. And then also being a legend, being a Houston legend, who he is and what he brings from a leadership standpoint. And then you go out in the draft and you really show people that you're serious and you're trying to make incredible moves right now to make this thing go for the next however many years with CJ and Will. I feel like things are really in a good place right now. And I think there's an exciting future. I think there's absolutely going to be some, adversity along the way. It's not going to be a smooth, easy transition, but I think you give D'Amico the proper time, you give him the proper leeway to be able to do what he needs to do and build this thing the right way over time. And I think in a few years, we're gonna look back at this offseason and say that was a really, really good one for the Texans.
We'll go Brandon and then go Tara.
JJ, congratulations to you, and it's good to see you again. I'm curious if once you decided to retire, did you actually seek out advice on what to do in retirement, and what is some of the best advice that you feel like you've gotten since you've been out of the game?
Yeah, I have. I certainly have, because it's not an easy transition. I mean, I've been playing football since 5th grade. So this is literally going to be my first fall without going to a training camp, without playing football, without going to games. And it's difficult. It's certainly something that you have to consciously make that adjustment and talk yourself through it to make sure that you're, trying to do the right things and not letting yourself go astray. The one thing a lot of people told me was take your time, really enjoy and appreciate the time that you now have with your family, with your son. Don't jump all into really anything, which is why this fall I'm definitely going to be taking things slow and kind of testing the waters and doing things piece by piece, just to see what I really enjoy, to see what I really want to do as we move forward. And then it's just fine for me personally. I'm a competitive guy. Like, I'm going to miss the competition the most. I'm going to miss the locker room and the guys and something to compete in. And right now golf is kicking my ass. So I've got a lot of work to do there, and I got plenty of time to work on it. So my wife and I, we have some pickleball contests as well. So we're going back and forth on that. So I've got no shortage of competition in my life.
Go Daniel.
JJ, good to see you. Jealous of the background instead of being in an office. Congratulations. How do you process the accolades once you've stepped away from the game? And I know it's kind of fresh and it's going to be different when the game is there in front of you, you're not playing, but how do you process this and kind of come to terms with what you've really accomplished and what you mean to so many people?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's twofold. One, it's obviously extremely humbling and it's an honor, and everybody saying such nice things is incredible. At the very same time, it is slightly sad because it does signify the end of a chapter, and it does signify, you watch the highlights and you see the videos and you see the plays, and you know that you can't create any more of those, and you know that those days are gone. And it is sad. But at the same time, it's so much fun for me to look back on those moments and to talk to people about those times and relive them a little bit in my head. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't sad that knowing that I can't go out there and create any more of those. But the reality of it is it comes to an end for every single player at some point. So that day comes for everybody. I'm just reconciling with it a little earlier than some.
We'll go with Sarge and then Cole.
JJ, when you were here, you were so excited when you became an uncle, and now that you are a father, how much did fatherhood play into your decision to walk away from the NFL?
Yeah, it's certainly a big part of it. I mean, it is the best thing in the entire world. It's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. It's tiring, but it is the greatest thing in the entire world. And so I really want Koa to be able to attend a game of mine in the NFL, and he's been to a few. And I really want to be able to spend time with him moving forward and everything that comes along with it. And I think that the mental and the physical stresses that I put on myself playing in the NFL, and also come with just the fact of being an NFL player, are so demanding and so high that I get myself in a bad mood if I have a bad workout, knowing that it could affect me in a game down the road. And I didn't want to bring any of that home, and I didn't want to have to deal with that anymore. And I must say it certainly has been a much more stress-free off season so far, that I'm not grinding it out trying to get myself ready for a season.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cole.
JJ, congratulations on everything and your success. Just looking back at your career and seeing where you are now, and you kind of mentioned it, that it's the first time since fifth grade that you won't be doing a training camp and you won't be working out in the summer with actual football facilities. Are you at peace at this point with your decision to be able to walk away from the game?
100%. Yeah, I'm absolutely at peace with it. Very much enjoying it. I really believe the mental stress of it all is just as relieving as the physical stress of it. I mean, like I said, probably wrongly. I mean, I know that I'm probably wrong in how much stress I put on myself to try and, push yourself to be great. But it's to have that weight lifted off. And if I get a workout in today, awesome. If I don't work out today and I go to the golf course instead, no problem. Like, it's the best, and I'm enjoying it very much. And there's one thing that I didn't get to accomplish in the league, and the reality of the situation is there's tons and tons of people that will never accomplish that. And it's unfortunate. I wish I did, but I had a great career with a lot of memories. And if you told him fifth grade JJ that he would be where he is today, he'd be just fine with it.
We're going to get to everyone's question, but I think John has to run, so I'm going to let him get another one in.
Oh, look at this guy. Where are you going, John? What's so important?
Radio. I got to ask you two questions, JJ. Number one, I can't remember a player playing his last road game in a stadium where the fans give him a standing ovation and chant his name while he's hugging his little boy and his wife. What was that like for you at the 49ers? And the other one, Matt Burke made you cry. What do you think about Matt Burke?
That's so the first question, it's a twofold answer. Number one, we were getting the brakes beat off us 30-0. Like, we were down by like 30 points. So there's bittersweetness there. But I will say that's honestly another part of the reason that I definitely am not coming back. When you walk away from the game and your last moment walking off an NFL field is in an opponent stadium, a division opponent stadium, and they chant your name as you step off the field with your son, your wife, and your parents in attendance. I'm not getting a much better moment than that from a personal standpoint. Being able to hug my wife, hug my son, and my parents on an NFL field for the last time, it was special to me. And then Burke is a good man. You guys got a good one. I hope his press conferences has been as entertaining as some of his meetings. He has got stories for days. I've heard them all, some of them twice, some of them more than twice. I have to, remind him. You've told me the Kilimanjaro story 3 times, Burke. It's enough. But he's a good one. I love him. And for him to have only been with me for a handful of months and to go through the time, energy, and effort that it took him to put together that video and to get all those people rounded up speaks to who he is as a person and what he's about. He told me, he said, people are getting you gifts and people are doing all this, but I knew the one thing that you wanted was to hear from the people in your life and the people that you respect the most. And it truly was one of the greatest gifts I've ever received. And it's something I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And I'll definitely be down there to visit Burke many times because he's that special of a person, and we're friends for life. And I've actually, speaking of Burnley, I've been talking with Vincent Kompany over our manager at Burnley, and he really wants to experience what an NFL week is like. He wants to see what everything is about. And so I told Burke, I said, would you mind if we sat in a few of your meetings at some point this fall? He said, no problem. So we may have Vincent Kompany coming over to check out some Texans time.
We'll go with AD and then Stephanie.
JJ, congratulations. Let's go back. You mentioned your fatherhood and then your health challenges that you had. How much all of that, when you finally made that decision, what part weighed the most, being the fatherhood or the health challenges, or just the combination of 12 years in the league?
little bit of it all. I mean, my injuries are no secret, obviously. The heart thing really, it weighed a little bit into it for sure. I think it was much scarier in the moment than it is now. But the injuries overall is certainly something. I mean, I finished my last season fully healthy with 12 and a half sacks. And I think, however many TFLs. And I was proud of that. The reality is I've been hurt a few times in the last few years, and I did not want my last memory on the NFL field to be going off injury. And can I still do it? Absolutely. I mean, I just did it with 12 and a half sacks, but how hard you have to work and how much preparation goes into being great in the NFL, I don't know if people fully understand or appreciate, especially as you get older. So can I still do it? Absolutely. But I just have to warm up for way longer. I have to take care of my body way more. And I have to invest that much more time and energy into it. And quite frankly, I just didn't feel like doing that anymore.
We'll go with Stephanie and then Nate. You're muted, Stephanie.
Here we go. Sorry.
There you are. Go ahead.
On behalf of everybody, and the internet, I'm going to say hi, JJ. And here is a sentimental question. When you were first drafted, I referred to you as possibly the most Texan-y Texan. What did you think of that then? And what do you think of that now? And what is the best of the Texans?
I do remember, Stephanie. I do remember it well. And I can tell you what I thought at the time because I still remember it now. I remember they're actually accepting me as one of their own a little bit. And it was it gave me a lot of confidence, and it gave me a lot of comfort knowing that I came to a new city, knowing that I came to a new place with people that had never met me, that I had never met before. But they were open and willing to bring me into their family. And I literally do remember reading that and thinking to myself, all right, you can do this. You can be a part of this community. And now when I look back on it and I look back on everything, it's special. It's like I've said many times, the bond that's been created between the city and myself is something that I cherish so greatly because I never expected it to happen. I mean, you hope it happens, and I think every athlete would love to have that type of connection with the city. Unfortunately, we went through a lot of adversity also to get there, which bonded us closer. But the reality is we have something that's so incredible, and I'm forever grateful for it.
We'll take these last five, Nate and then Chad.
Hello, JJ. Congratulations. Question for you. D'Amico Ryans was asked about you going into the Ring of Honor, and he couldn't say enough great things about you. It's one thing for, a stranger to say something, but for a teammate who respects you so much. What are your thoughts about D'Amico and the rest of your teammates and basically the world just loving on you right now?
I think the feeling is extremely mutual. I think I could not say enough words about D'Amico Ryans, about who he is as a person, about who he was as a captain for us as a teammate, and now who he's going to be as a head coach. I think there's a reason that so many former players are so excited about coming back out and getting out to training camp practices and getting out around the team and being a part of this and publicly supporting. It's because of who he is and what he's done. And everybody that's reached out since I retired, I mean, players, teammates, coaches, media members, everybody, it's been incredible. And it's kind of one of those things where, you don't really realize the different ways and the different lives that are touched and impacted until, it's kind of all over a little bit. But it's been a blast to connect with a lot of people and some people I haven't spoken to in a while. And it's going to be fun to get back to Houston and connect with everybody again. I mean, I'm talking with Roland, I'm talking with Cap, I'm talking with everybody over there now. And just so excited to get back in that building and so excited to be around the fans.
Chad and then Seth.
How you doing, JJ? Congratulations on this honor. Just talk about, obviously your pro football career is ended, but you created a new career as owning an English Premier League team. I mean, just talk about that. And also another thing I wanted to touch about, you touched about it with Steph. Houston sports legends are really big here. Hakeem, Nolan Ryan, Earl Campbell. But I think you reached another status with what you did after Hurricane Harvey. It seemed like really that kind of locked you in as a Houston sports legend. Do you feel like that kind of that love from the city to you came during that time? And just reminisce about that time as well.
Yeah, Hakeem, Earl, the absolute legends of this town. They're legends for a reason, and they've done unbelievable things. And I'm honored to be even mentioned amongst such names. And there's obviously more to come in the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing and watching and being a part of it all. I mean, my wife and I, we still watch Astros games. We still flip on the Rockets games at nights. Like we are still certainly H-Town. But it's, for me, obviously what we went through was horrible and tragic with Hurricane Harvey and everything that came with it. But like I've said many times, I think there's an extreme bond that's formed at going through adversity, finding your way, fighting through it, and coming out the other side stronger. And Houston has certainly done that. It's shown how resilient it is. It's shown how strong it is. And I'm extremely proud to be associated with a city like Houston. And then as far as Burnley goes, I'm extremely excited about it. It's something that I've loved for a long time. Greg Grissom literally was texting with me today about possibly trying to get Burnley over for a game at Energy Stadium next year. So it's really exciting. I think we've got some really big things in the works, and we're really looking forward to it. So anybody in Houston who's looking for a Premier League team to jump on board with, we welcome you on the Burnley bandwagon.
We'll go Seth and then Chance.
Hey, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You'd mentioned Koa being able to go to one of your games, and like obviously your future children aren't going to be able to watch you and Kalia play. And you guys have had very public lives. Is there a part of it that's a little bit liberating to be able to kind of be known to your children as something different than current superstar athlete?
Yeah, I think there's certainly something about that not being entirely our identities, especially for him. I also think on the flip side of that, like, I do kind of wish that he could see me when he's like 10 years old. He could see me go out there and get have a 3-sack game and just beat up an offensive lineman, so that I could come home and be like, dude, go to your room. Like, you saw what I just did. I'll do it to you. No problem. So I'm a little worried about that. I'm certainly at some point, that first time that he just lips off, I'm just going to put YouTube videos right in front of his face and just be like, this is me. Like, you don't want to mess with me. But we're not there.
You're still going to be able, you know what, though? You'll be able to split wood for a long time before he's able to. Like, that's just as impressive to a 10-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, my dogs don't listen to me for shit, so I don't know how the hell I'm going to get this kid to listen to me. But I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
One more question. Was there any part of you, I know you're totally retired, was there any part of you that thought, like, okay, maybe I can lose 20 pounds and just be a strictly third down edge rushing specialist? Right now, I'm like 277, 278 right now. I mean, I've lost, 3 or 4 pounds, nothing crazy. I still train 4 or 5 days a week. I just don't run a lot. Like I do, I'll do a little bit of cardio, but it's all just weights, just trying to look good now, not trying to like actually be a good athlete. But there's a part of me, like, my body feels really good because I'm not putting that pounding on it. Like, my knees feel great. Everything feels great. And so, like, there's definitely that moment every now and then where you're like, I could turn the corner right now. Like, no problem. I could turn the corner easy. And then I start to think to myself, oh yeah, but then Trent Williams is just going to, stick his hand right in your face. And like, I don't feel like doing that. I don't want that. They're not all Trent Williams, man.
Yeah. But no, I'm very, very at peace with it. I'm very happy about it. The only time like I was like, damn, was when I was like, asked my agent, I was like, let's say I did go into free agency this year. Like, what kind of, because I saw a lot of the numbers that were being thrown around free agency. And I was like, I had more sacks than that guy. I had more than that guy. And I was like, what would I have gotten in free agency? And he told me the numbers. And I was like, you get to relax, man. You just get to relax, and then you have a son. Just be with your son. So, but other than that, no, I haven't really thought about it. I'm good. I'm doing great. And like I said, golf course is my new home.
We'll take these last 3, Chance and then Wes.
Hey, JJ, for starters, I'd like to say I appreciate and respect the fact that you're reminding people you were still a double-digit guy on your way out the league. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So when you think about your time in Houston and think about the culture, the people, even meeting your wife here in Houston, how did that shape and mold the JJ Watt today?
I think hands down, the melting pot that is Houston has made such a significant impact on me. I mean, I grew up in Wisconsin. Like, I grew up in a suburb of Milwaukee in Wisconsin. Like, I didn't experience a massive amount of different cultures or different experiences. So when I got to Houston, I got to experience all different things. I got to experience all different types of diversity and people and food and cultures and backgrounds, everything. So it's played a huge part in my development as a person, as a human. And then obviously meeting my wife and changing my life forever in that way was a massive part of my experience down there as well. But the fans, the teammates, the coaches, just my life doesn't look anywhere near the same if I don't get drafted to Houston and I don't experience what I experienced over those 10 years. And then I've said it many times before, but I live the life that I live because NFL fans support the league and support the teams, and Houston fans supported me. So it's no secret that I get to live in a nice house, and I get to drive a nice car, and I get to provide a nice life for my son because of these great fans. And I'm extremely appreciative, and I'm extremely grateful for that. It's never, ever lost on me how cool that is.
Last two, Wex and then Drew.
Hey, JJ, good to talk to you again. Do you consider yourself close enough to the game that you get a sense of what the Texans have in Will Anderson? And secondly, with how positively you talked about where the Texans are headed, could you see your former two-time teammate DeAndre Hopkins playing for the Texans next season?
Are you at Noodles and Company?
That's my kitchen.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic decoration. That's great. Yes, so I can answer both of those questions. So I think Will is obviously a phenomenal player. I mean, I'm very excited to watch him grow, to watch him develop, and to see what Burke does with him in that defense, with D'Amico's defense, and the attack mindset, and just watching. I mean, he's a freak athlete, and he's already great at getting to the quarterback. And so I'm excited to just watch him develop and grow, and hopefully get down there and speak with him a bit as well at some point. But that's, for me as a pass rusher, I'm very excited to watch Will. And then for the team as a whole, I really do think there's very, very exciting things coming up. I mean, we went through some tough times to get to these days, and you had to kind of build that arsenal. I think Nick had to obviously do some things that you don't necessarily always want to do as a GM, to put yourself in a situation to have a draft like they just had and kind of push all your chips in the middle of the table and say, all right, now we're going to do it. Now we're on this swing. And from year to year now, it's a combination of adding more and more pieces and developing the ones that you do have. In terms of Hop, I mean, that's completely up to him what he wants to do. I think that I've said it many times, he's still got the best hands in the NFL. You throw the ball within 10 yards, the man is going to catch it. It's completely up to him what he's looking for, what he wants to do. I know he's obviously said previously that he wants to go somewhere and win and have a chance to win a Super Bowl. I think that anybody here right now can realistically say that we may be a year or two or so away from the true competition for that. We've got to get D'Amico's system in place. And I mean, hopefully they surprise the shit out of us, and that'd be great if it was this year. But I think that there's certainly a process here, and we have to respect that process as well.
All right, Drew, last one.
Hey, JJ, congrats, man.
Hey, thanks, Drew.
Hey, you're welcome. Two-parter, what, aside from like being stress-free and getting all the extra time with your family, what are some more underrated, great aspects of retirement? And then also, what were your first impressions when you got here in 11 of D'Amico Ryan's first impressions, first interactions?
Yeah, so some of the more underrated aspects of retirement, being able to eat more freely, both eating more delicious foods and also not having to eat so many calories every day. I think that's a huge thing. That's awesome. I don't have to wake up in the morning and shove like 3 cups of oatmeal down my throat. I get to just, relax and eat what I want. And then I also, if I'm at a restaurant and I feel like having like a slice of pie or a slice of cake, just get it. Like, go ahead. So that's been Very, very nice. Let's see, what else? Traveling, being able to travel and not have to like plan and coordinate exactly what gym I'm going to go work out at. Like when we go over to England, I train at the facility at Burnley's place, but you know, I got some dumbbells and a bike in my garage. I'll just go out there and work out. I don't have to go find a field and do everything. And when I first got here in 11, my first impressions were with D'Amico. I said it in a tweet, but I literally thought so much of D'Amico that I said, "Where do you live?" And he told me, and I said, "Okay, if it's good enough for D'Amico, it's good enough for me." And I bought the house across the street from him. And that is the epitome of what I thought of D'Amico Ryans upon meeting him. Is this guy does everything right on the field. He does everything right off the field. He is the type of person that I want to emulate and be like. If he chose this house, that means that it is a smart, good decision and a great place to live. That means that's where I should live. So I literally bought the house across the street from him because he's that guy.
Awesome. Thank you, JJ. You're very generous with your time.
Hey, thank you guys. Can't wait to see you all come the fall. I'm going to eat so much food in that city. I don't think there's going to be any left. I cannot wait.
Awesome. Thank you.